Hey y'all, my name is Swan. This is We Are Not Experts, and today we thought we'd have a discussion on Eric Killmonger. There's been a lot of conversation about whether Killmonger was right, if T'Challa was wrong, and we thought we would give our brief thoughts on the conversation. So, like I said again, my name is Swan, and since we're talking about Black Panther today, I thought I'd go by, Tahala if you hear me. And also we got Primo. Primo, introduce yourself.
It's your boy Primo. And since we talking about Black Panther, I'm to chocolate. What up, ladies?
All right, so we'll start off. It's just kind of a basic background about the conversation. A lot of people have been saying they feel like they identify more with Michael B. Jordan's Eric Killmonger and about how he was this black revolutionary or black revolutionary, black nationalist who wanted to arm the oppressed people of the world. And a lot of people said they felt like they identified more with him and that he was actually right and that what T'Challa and the rest of the people who sided with T'Challa fought for was wrong. Primo, what's your thoughts about it?
Man. Oh, man, I felt them a little bit. You know, it was a little like when he was talking about having spots, war dogs, that's what he called them, in different countries and sending them weapons. And I felt that was a little overboard to a certain extent. But for the most part, I was like, he's speaking facts. Like, I mean, he kept it real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't help that.
Be more specific. What are the facts and stuff that you agree with?
Like how he came, where he came from. Like he came from South Central. No father growing up, basically. Father passed. You know, he experienced a lot of stuff, but then where he was from, they wouldn't experience none of that. They live in lavish over there in Wakanda. Like they don't have to worry about nothing. No police brutality, nothing crazy, you know, no drugs. You know, he from South Central California. He probably seen that every day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he was just wondering why they didn't come help them. Like they're his people too. Like why didn't they come help him? But they helping everybody else in their whole, like, you know what I'm saying?
But
like why they just
they help everybody but folks who lived in Wakanda. And I guess this was the first thing that jumped out to me was I don't feel like you can have a movie like Black Panther with a nation like Wakanda without first addressing why they have or have not reached out to the folks in the diaspora and helped out the rest of the continent of Africa. Because I mean, like, I know you can do a suspension of belief all the way up to having a Hulk and having Thor and all these big superheroes. But one thing I won't believe is that you got a nation in Africa that's like super duper technologically advanced, but they let the slave trade happen and they let these people take advantage of Africans throughout the whole continent. They just kind of set to
right.
So that's one thing I did appreciate about the Killmonger, about Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, was just the fact that he spoke to that. He spoke to, like, that would have been the first question I had if they would have did like Claw as the main villain, just like,
right.
You know, like, well, okay, y'all got all this stuff and y'all can fight this guy and he got an armed cannon that apparently y'all just use the mind. But like, if y'all got all this, why y'all ain't helping us out? Why y'all ain't doing this and why y'all ain't doing that? And in that sense, I feel like Killmonger was right. That, like, how can you have all this technology, all this stuff, but you don't want to help out you know, your brothers and sisters and stuff like that. But I thought it was also beautiful that they acknowledged that. It was like, yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. Our ancestors should have helped out, but they didn't. But now what we can do right now is we can change that. And I guess what I think he was wrong at, though, is how Killmonger went about changing that. And that's what my point comes in.
Yeah. That boy was ready to kill everybody white. He was about that life. I mean, no, I'm not gonna say I like that. I definitely don't. You know what I mean? But that, hey, I wasn't expecting that. Like, you know, I didn't read Black Panther comic books growing up. I rarely read any comic books, but I definitely wasn't expecting none of that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, neither was I, to be honest. I heard it was political, but I didn't understand in what concept. And to be honest with America right now, I thought they was going to have Black Panther stopping policemen from shooting somebody black like they did in Black Lightning or something like that. I thought that was as political as they were going to get. But like having discussions about, you know, stealing artifacts from all of Africa. I mean, like, you go in any museum, you're going to see a mummy think about that. Like that's real creepy if you think about it. Like a whole dead body is sitting in a museum out
for everybody to look at.
Yeah, a dead body you stole from someplace else. You grave robbed the place. You brought these people over here so you can look at it. That's creepy, dude. Like I went to school at Emory. Emory has a whole mummy. I think probably more than one. I think 2 or 3 sitting out for people to just look at. And it's like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then the more I thought about it, so it's actually really, really creepy. But I think it has something to do with dehumanizing things. That's a whole nother rant on its own. But I mean, that was a good conversation being brought up. Then the one about like, well, what about us? Like y'all over here living lavish, but what have y'all done for us? 3 was really about like y'all got, again, y'all got all this wealth and everything. Y'all kind of left us in the dust. But like, what are y'all doing with this thing y'all been like granted all this stuff for? But again, like with Killmonger, or I'm gonna just call him Eric. I'm gonna call him what his mama called him. But with Eric and
he did have his mama. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, he had his. I mean, I'm assuming he had his mom.
I'm thinking he had his mom. He had his pops though. That's why.
Yeah,
he had his mom.
But it was the simple fact that he ended up being like a tyrannical dictator. Is essentially what it was. And it's like he technically seized control by legal means. I mean, they had their little fight to be the rightful ruler. And if we want to be real about it, T'Challa and them cheated twice. Forrest Whitaker came in there and stopped him. That seemed like it should have been illegal. Second was after Chadwick Boseman, after T'Challa like fell off the thing, and I mean, obviously,
that's game over.
But after he fell off the thing or whatever, even though he didn't die, they gave him that herb. You remember? Mm-hmm. And all the other times when they did the fights, they had to drain that herb from him. So for both of them to fight with the herb, even though it was on technically level playground, it's level grounds. It still seems like that should have been against the rules. I mean, that's just a little side thing. But anyway, for him to like decide he was gonna burn everything down, and it was just kind of like we gonna go out, we just gonna change everything. In that sense, he was wrong too, because it's like he just completely threw away everything they had to deal with Wakanda. He threw away their culture as far as being isolationist. He threw away them only fighting to protect stuff instead of going out against it. He threw away all this stuff. And in that sense, again, I believe he was wrong. But at the same time, him being like an American, we see he was like an American first and then a Wakandan second. It's like he was probably just like, hey, like, I don't really care if I screw y'all stuff up. I'm like, well, I'm technically y'all. I ain't technically y'all. And I'm trying to help my people. And it's like one of the things I feel like a lot of Black comics and things of that nature deal with is how far can they push before we are supposed to push back, in the sense of and I know I'm talking about, so I'm gonna wrap it up with this and then you can tell me how you feel about it. But in Static, everybody saw Static Shock growing up, but in the comics it was he had a villain called Commando X, and Commando X was like the Black nationalist who like he would bomb stuff and everything, and that was his powers. He touched stuff and he blew up. And he was trying to start like a revolution, and he like bombed a synagogue and stuff like that. And in the end, it was like, the pastors and Static came together, and they was like, we got to get rid of this commando guy, and nationalism is wrong, and yada yada yada. And then like Black is another comic series. It's like only Black people have superpowers, and da, 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 da. And it's the same. Again, it's that same thing. It's you got the superheroes, or the heroes, are the guys who want to hide and assimilate to white culture, while the villains are like the more nationalistic, radical. They try to tell you, they remind you of Malcolm X type people. And it's like I felt like you get the same thing with this, to where it's like always like we're going to demonize nationalism, we're going to demonize Black people taking responsibility for their own stuff and saying like we need to come together and fight oppression by any means necessary. And that's where I have a problem with that. I'm not necessarily saying we should start some kind of civil war and all. No, I'm not saying that. But it's like I get tired of every time we think about a nationalist, a Black nationalist, or Black people just saying like, hey, we're just going to close off our stuff and we're going to deal with us and we're going to try to build up our community, since we aren't in the best of positions. It's always demonized in comic books and stuff, even to the point where like, everybody always talks about how X-Men was modeled after MLK and Malcolm X, and the one who's for humans to do as much as they did to X-Men and the comics and the TV show and all that stuff. Magneto's the only one that's like, hey, like y'all got to stop killing us, or we gonna kill y'all too. And they'd be like, oh, that's bad, that's bad. Like, you know, and it's like, you know, after a while, it's like, how much can we take before we say like, nah, we're gonna fight back? And I feel like that's what Killmonger, Eric, represents, is this idea like y'all been oppressing us, y'all been doing this, y'all been doing that for hundreds of years. We actually have the technology, so like, why don't we fight back? And maybe he went about it the wrong way, but I feel like something needs to be said about why that's always demonized in science fiction and comics and things of that nature. Thoughts?
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, do you have any thoughts? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, you said why it's demonized in, you know, comic books, but you gotta realize, like, white folks make these comic books at the end of the day. Like,
not static and not black.
Huh?
Not static and not black.
Oh, static. Yeah, I forgot about those two. Yeah, that's true. But like the main one,
neither.
Huh?
So white folks didn't write this movie neither. Black folks did all that. And that was the first thing they wanted to say is, hey, you know, this is bad. Right. You know, and it's like I love the movie. I'm gonna say that, but I do have a problem with this whole like, we're always going to make the black nationalists bad. And Malcolm X is the bad side, and MLK is the good side. Du Bois is the good side, and Marcus Garvey is the bad. Like, man, you know, again, I don't like necessarily the way he went about it, but I do have a problem with them always demonizing that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree to. I definitely agree. It's kind of hard to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I feel like the way, like, black people know who these people are. Like, black people know who, like, really know who Martin, Malcolm, and, you know what I'm saying? Who these people are trying to portray, I guess you say. Yeah. But, like, I wouldn't say white folks ever been taught really about Malcolm, Martin. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they'll hear comparisons and stuff like that. They'll see little memes and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? But I don't think they've just really been taught about it. So it's like when like people see like what Magneto is bad, but you know, sometimes you can relate to what he's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll watch the movie and he'll say something about, you know, we're trying to take down they want to kill us, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to fight back. Like, some people be like, oh, that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just bad. I'd be looking at him like, nah, he keeping it real. Like, you know what I'm saying? he keeping it real. Like, you know, you can't poke the bear and not expect to get bitten. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like our society is just getting poked. Like, we get picked at all the time, constantly. Whether it be, they do it in a nice way too. Like in music, they'll have the black guy they'll have the rapper for it to blow up and stuff to get everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, we'll hear, oh, that's our favorite rapper on the track. Let's listen to it. But they don't use the one rapper the whole, like, you know what I mean? Like the whole album, that's just, you know, and then won't go to him again, or, you know, and then
it's kind of why like a Drake is popular, but in Mortal Technique, nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah, or like in fashion, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll quietly take something that, or use something we've done for years. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll try to be underhanded about it and then get mad when we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get what
so I feel like, huh?
I said I get what you're saying. Just like how it was a article came out about they were calling it like the water hairstyle, and it was white dudes getting waves.
Waves, yeah, man. I was at work. And this old white guy came in. I guess he had waves, but they was like buzzed in. They was like buzzed in. Cause I looked at him and said, "Really, guys? He's gonna walk out here with your hair all unleveled? Where you do rag at, bro? Where you wave grease? What's up?" I was like, "What's up with your hair?" He looked like what's the old boy from Spider-Man, the cartoon Spider-Man?
Norman Osborn.
Osborn, whatever.
We are not.
His was super wave. His stuff was wavy though. That's what his looked like. But it was just like buzzed in a little bit. I was like, come on, man. y'all gotta stop it.
And I mean, like, I guess to get to a larger Black Panther discussion, that's also one thing I loved about the movie was the idea of taking like traditional African cultures and kind of updating it a little bit, making it a little more modern, but still making it real stylish. Because I tell you this, T'Challa was fresh that whole movie.
Oh yeah.
But wasn't nobody fresher than old boy with the lip plate. Dude had the lip plate.
Oh, the green suit. That green suit was mean, boy.
With the matching lip plate and the matching ears and everything like that.
The suit was
he knew he was matched. Oh boy, never came out this position, legs crossed like too fresh.
That boy was super fly.
Too fresh. But I'll tell you this too. When I went to South Africa, for the most part, most people just wore regular, Western clothes. In fact, I only remember 2 people wearing like dashiki style clothes. One was a white guy from Chicago, weirdly enough. And the second was one guy that was described to me as too African and too black or something like that. And this is in South Africa, bro. It's not like I'm talking about in Detroit, some dude was wearing the dashiki and folks saying he doing too much, but I was in South Africa and they said he was doing too much because he had on traditional African garbs. So it's kind of interesting in that aspect too, as far as like the willing to embrace it. But one thing I did like about Eric was he was like Black American to the core, bro. He had with his grill.
That boy was fly at the museum.
Hey,
I was like, they got a modern day brother on this, but like he wasn't like he was African, but they didn't make him sit like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like they just made him American first, like almost.
I mean, but that's where he grew up at and everything. So yeah, he would obviously identify more with African Americans than he would those of Wakanda. Like he'd never even been to Wakanda before that. At least not that we know of. And it's
he was just always told about it.
He grew up in South Central, so of course he gonna be as Black as you can get, Yeah.
Yeah. He was hard though.
He was super hard. I'll tell you this too. There's another discussion we had was should Killmonger or Eric be considered a villain or more of an antagonist? And I guess it all depends on your perspective too. Because it's like if
perspective could get you fired, Josh. Watch out, watch your mouth. Perspective could get you fired. I'm chilling. No, you see it? Well, perspective could get you fired, man.
Well, I mean the perspective of those in the movie. Because obviously I forgot his name, but the guy from Get Out. Yeah. He was obviously a hero to him because he brought in, he did something that T'Challa was able to do in bringing in Claw. From the perspective of the West, he would have been an enemy, obviously, because he gave out weapons and stuff like that. To those of Wakanda, he was an enemy or the ones who did not side with him, he was an enemy because he wanted to get rid of that. While he didn't expressly say it, him burning the incense, the herb and all that other stuff, he didn't care about their culture. He was trying to throw them in war. Would obviously be an enemy to them. In fact, Michonne's character, I really should have learned these people's names, but Michonne's character was even saying like, man, you're not fit to be a king. You don't that's when the Dora Milaje went against him and everything like that. Right. So again, like as far as it was so multi-tiered to where like in his eyes, like he obviously was doing the right thing. He was trying to be a liberator. It's kind of the Che Guevara, and I hate to use this, but Osama bin Laden and all them type of people, where they say like a terrorist to one is a freedom fighter to another. And I think they put us in a position where he could kind of tote that line, where he wasn't necessarily an evil person. It's not like he was trying to take over the world or anything like that, but he was trying to do what he considered leveling the playing field. And in that sense, I wouldn't call him a villain, but more of an antagonist in the sense that he was his way of life was obviously not in line with T'Challa's and was not in line with a lot of those in Wakanda, but the actions he was doing wasn't necessarily evil, but it could have led to a lot of evil happening. You think that was towing the line good enough to keep my job, man? Yeah,
you're right. I'm just making sure we gotta make money after this one. So I'm just looking out for you, dog. That's all.
I'm with you unless these folks gonna give us a Patreon or something like that. Yeah, But I mean, honestly, that's how I feel. It's not really. I mean, well, I might have said a little nicer than I normally would in conversation off the internet. That's essentially what it is.
Mm-hmm.
In one way, you can consider him a villain if you, depending on what side you would be on. If you were just a random person in America and he was given, because like, okay, so like one of the things too is like, while his intentions might have been noble, if we look at it, it wouldn't have went the way he was expecting it to happen.
Right. Right.
If he grew, we'll use South Central because that's where he grew up. If he grew up in LA right now, you know, all these folks got guns and selling drugs and this, that, and the other. What's to say that you give these folks Wakandan technology that they're not just going to do the same things they were going to do already, just with more power? It's not like he was talking about like, oh, well, it's the Black Panthers stay here and the NAACP is here and we're going to give just the NAACP and the Black Panthers guns and tell them to go fight for us. He was like, nah, just give it to people, you know? And it's like, well, you know, the people you probably trying to give them to aren't necessarily gonna like say like, oh, well, you know, we need to get this person out of office and then establish this law and this, that, and the other. They might have just said like, hey, this is better protection for my product, or hey, I could take over this part of LA, you know, with these weapons and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily mean make it better. It seemed like he was just trying to give, you know, essentially rocket launchers, unlimited rocket launchers to random people, and in that sense, like,
yeah. Yeah, his plan would have definitely went awry because as soon as somebody would have heard about him, you know what I mean, president, all types of stuff, they would have nuked Africa. They wouldn't care.
Honestly.
Africa would have got super nuked, bombed out and depleted.
Completely. And it was you know, so, and I'll be honest, when I first watched it, I was like, oh man, Killmonger. You know, I thought he was dope. But it's like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I can see, you know, it'd have been one thing if he was like, we're gonna start, like, we're gonna take the African Union and we're gonna mobilize this and we're gonna do that. He wasn't trying to do that. He was just like, hey, we're gonna take some stuff to Asia, take some stuff to Africa, take some stuff to East Europe, and give these people stuff and let them fight their own stuff. And it's just like, what? You know, like the more you think about it, the worse that would have turned out. But ideologically, I don't think he was necessarily that wrong, bro.
I don't think so either. There need to be more like him nowadays, but no, never mind. Don't. No, it doesn't. No, there doesn't. No, don't listen to me.
I think you know who there needs to be more like. Old boy from Get Out, and I'm about to look up these names because I'm tired of like calling these folks by their other name.
Old boy from Get Out. That's his nickname today. Old boy from Get Out. He was more for Wakanda, and his lover was more for the king. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Well, the thing I was going to say was his name was Wakabi. It's Wakabi.
Yeah.
While people keep saying he's wrong for the way that he just kind of abandoned T'Challa and went over to Eric's side, I think it's a whole lot of other stuff that like would make that make sense to me. But it was this idea of having these leaders and nobody willing to follow, in the sense of we got leaders in the Black community in America, but we don't have as many people who are willing to do that, what you say, grunt work, in the sense that, you know, like you got a Killmonger, a president or a king or whatever like that, but what's a king without a kingdom? And what's a kingdom without people who are willing to do the work? In the sense that him acknowledging Killmonger as king and fighting on behalf of him and putting his troops up to do the things that needs to be done. In a lot of communities in America, we have people who like, it's just that contrarian, that kind of contrarian spirit that's on a lot of people right now, to where like you'll have somebody give a good idea, and then when it's like, all right, implement this stuff, you know, everybody's backpedaling, everybody starts finding, I want to poke holes in this, I want to poke holes in that, but nobody actually wants to get up and do the work. So for him being like, I feel like he was an interesting character in the sense that, like, you remember he told Tyler to begin with, if you want us to go out there and do stuff, we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But we're not bringing nobody here. And like for him to be like, you know, I'm about to get up and I'm gonna go, you know, I'm gonna send my troops out to do the things that need to be done to fix the world under your orders. People don't do that nowadays. Everybody wants to be the smartest person in the room. So, you know, I can't follow you because I found this wrong with your thing, or I found that wrong with your thing. And this is not me saying like blind allegiance, but I'm saying for every king there needs to be like a duke or something like that. I mean, I don't know ranks or whatever, but I guess for every president there needs to be a general. And you know, we have a lot of people who want to be presidents, but nobody who wants to be a general. Really, even our presidents ain't trying to, you know, do nothing. But you know, that's just how I feel about it. I feel like Wakabi needs to get more recognition for his dopeness. I know people don't like him, but I could do a whole video on why I think Wakabi was right, even more so than anybody in that movie. But maybe But I guess in closing out, Primo Demos, anything else you want to say?
That's all I got. It was the Bankhead bounce. That's what they was doing. The Bankhead bounce the whole time. That's what they was doing. That was a good movie though.
Oh man,
that was definitely worth the money.
Yeah. We're going back to see. I'm trying to go back and see it again this weekend, sometime, because there's certain stuff I want to. You know, I gotta relook at, see how I feel about this stuff, and we may do another.
Think about his Wakabi and his lover kind of splitting part. You know, one for the king, one for the nation of Wakanda.
Man, one thing I was saying about it though is,
I mean, you can't get mad at Wakabi. He was doing what he was doing. Like,
yeah,
you know, if there's all the king.
But even more so than that, one thing about I gotta find this lady's name. I forgot it. Oh, Okoye.
Her fine self.
What'd you say?
Her fine self. Keep talking though.
One thing about Okoye was how she put her nation above all other things. And that what she told Lupita's character. God, I'm really bad at names, y'all. If y'all watch this more, y'all will come to realize that. But how she told Nakia, I don't remember her name. But how she told Lupita, she was like, you know, hey, I can't do this because I'm loyal to whoever sits on that throne. I'm loyal to that. Right. You know, like to where her and her husband were about to fight her boyfriend or whatever they was. And bruh, I'm about to take you down if you don't chill out. Like it was just like my nation is above all things. And to be honest, in a lot of other communities, they put like, I'm not gonna name none specific, but in a lot of other communities, they put their community above all other things. And that's kind of what the gist of a lot of the things that we're doing in Wakanda, especially with their relationship, or the way that they were portrayed, they being Okoye and Wakabi, Michonne and Get Out Dude, was it's just this idea of, you know, especially with Wakabi, it was not Wakabi, but Okoye, it was my nation is what I serve. That's what I'm here for. That's what I live my life for. And I will kill you, and I will kill you, and I will kill you in order for us all to survive. And I mean, like, just to be real, like a lot of us wouldn't even change. Like, we didn't even stop watching NFL for our folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks are still getting Clippers tickets when dude was talking about, you know, how he was talking, and you know, won't boycott nothing for longer than a week until it stops becoming a hashtag or whatever like that. And I'm not gonna sit here in front. I never boycotted the NFL. I didn't. So, you know, but
the Steelers were doing too good for me. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
So the Steelers were doing too good for me. Like the first 3 weeks, I was like, oh, okay, they doing good this year. Let me go ahead. And I felt bad, but
it's still that kind of thing where this girl was willing not only to kill her best friend and Lupita's character, but also like she told her, like, I'm not gonna be on your side, like you gonna get them away, but like I'm here to protect this throne, I'm here to protect my nation, I'm here to protect this monarchy. And she told her husband or boyfriend or whatever, like, hey, you better chill out for
right.
too. And he already knew what's up. You saw, he just like, all right, you know, yes, man.
He bowed down.
Yes, ma'am.
He bowed down.
But it's but she put her nation above all things, and you can get real hotepy with that. But I mean, but that's what it is. A lot of us don't. We don't. And I mean, I can understand it too, because I feel like one thing about that that what you call it, Wakanda has over Black America is Wakanda seems to be kind of put as very monolithic, one thought, one mind. While we have various degrees of people here. You got liberals, you got conservatives, you got rich, you got poor, middle class, West Coast, East Coast, down south, all with different problems. To where it's not any one national Black agenda. Because what may be the most important thing down south isn't necessarily the most important thing out west. While the West may be dealing with a bunch of gang problems and stuff and gun violence in Chicago, and then down south we dealing with Confederate flags and all type, just different things. Right. Where, like you can't put us all under one banner. But I mean, I think that's one of the things that Wakanda has over us. That to them it was just Wakanda, Wakanda forever and all that type of stuff. But we got a bunch of different stuff. At least it wasn't portrayed on the screen. Like they had a bunch of different problems.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, I'm good. I got a new Batman comic book. Hey, you read it, yo.
Tell them what it is.
The Signal. The Signal is young Black African male, and he's part of the new Batman because he got so many there's so many folks in the Batman crew, and they all together in this. But he's like the newest one.
Is that dude that used to be was it Batwing?
No, this is another dude.
Yeah,
so this is
yeah. Huh? I did go by and pick up this Black Panther annual. I'll be honest, I never really read a Black Panther book. I think I told Primo to get it. But I'll be honest, I'm more of a DC fan, so I went and got it. But if we talk about Black comics and stuff like that, I'm gonna throw some out here, at least for people, in case you're reading this or listening to this and you're kind of interested in it because of Black Panther, because of any reasons. But of course, like we were talking about Black Panther. But you got all the milestone comics, which are Static, Icon, Rocket, Hardware, all those. Hardware is really hard to find. I have a Blood Syndicate #1, Static #1, 2 Icon #1s, but I cannot find a Hardware #1. So if anybody has that and they're trying to get that up, holla at your boy. To holla at me. But anyway.
Holla at me.
Holla. But what else? I think it's Image Comics. No, it's Valiant Comics has a Divinity, who's really dope. He's like a Black Russian guy, and he has like these reality warping powers. It's really cool. Everybody knows about Blade. Everybody knows about Spawn. Everybody knows about Luke Cage. You even got a Superman who was modeled after Barack Obama, in case you was wondering, in case that was something you in case
Barack Obama.
It's Superman on like another Earth. I forgot what
and he's Black.
Yeah, it's I think his name is, let's see, Calvin Ellis, I think is his name. But you'd have to go find, or something I forgot. I think it's Calvin Ellis. You'd have to go find it though. I couldn't give you any specifics about it. But there's a lot of characters, to be honest. Black Lightning show just came out, which has been dope, which has been real dope. You got the Black Wally West.
Is the Silencer considered Black, or is she? I don't know if she's like Spanish.
She look Black, look like Jaden Smith,
But she got the blonde hair but see, it's crazy. She got blonde hair, but her skin dark. Like I don't know I don't know.
Like Jaden Smith. Well, I mean, Jaden Smith's light skin, but I'm saying like he got blonde hair, blonde buzz cut.
Man, but hers is real.
Why?
Hers is a real blonde. Hers is like a real blonde hair. No, like it's a real color.
You probably just dyed it. I mean, but also there are Black people with naturally blonde hair. Okay. So yeah, we can still get that to her. Mr. Terrific. I always want to say Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Terrific.
That comes out at the end of the next year.
Not just next week. Next week.
The Terrific? You sure it's the end of this year or next year? I mean, next month or
the
this
tourist
month?
comes out the 28th. I looked it up this week.
Okay.
It comes out next Wednesday or whatever next Wednesday is. It comes out.
I'm copping.
But you got Cyborg.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a bunch more that we was talking about. But
Cyborg is me that one black friend. I don't care what no one says. He's that guy.
I mean, I feel like everybody's at least watched Static. If you care anything about black comics, everybody's at least watched that. Oh, we forgot about freaking Jon Stewart, bro.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Vixen for the women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Vixen's dope. I actually got Vixen's first appearance at the house. Yeah.
Yeah, so hit him up for offers.
Nah, I don't hit you up for offers. You can check on those. But if you got that hardware, you can hit me up. What was I about to say? But yeah, I mean, those are the only people I can think of. Storm, of course. You know, I mean, we could probably do a whole series on stuff like that about black heroes or something if people are interested and people comment and stuff like that. But I mean, that's all I got for today. So I guess here go a final thing. Was Killmonger right, Primo?
He just had a bad plan. That's what it was. His plan was bad. He was cool though.
And I know y'all didn't see it, but he stuck his thumb up. He gave a thumbs up sign. I would say, in a sense, Killmonger was right, but for the most part, he was wrong. It don't matter if you have a good idea if it's implemented wrong. You know what they say? The pathway. They say the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. You know, it's all that. So I would have to say, you know, even though if you know me, you know probably how I feel about Killmonger. I mean, if you know anything about me, you probably know how I feel about him. But I have to say, I gotta say he's wrong. I identify a whole much more with him than most people probably think. Well, now if you know me, you know I probably identify with Killmonger. But I do think he was wrong in a sense. I wouldn't say he was a villain, but I would say he was wrong. Mm-hmm. So until next time, again, my name's Swan, aka
T'Challa. There you go. Tell him your name.
Who you are, man? I just said my name.
Oh, and this is Primo, aka T'Chocolate. Holla at me on Tinder. But we out of here.
Yeah. Till next time. I mean, also comment, like, share. Even just, jump in, tell us if we were wrong about anything. Again, as far as comics go, we read them a little bit, but we are not experts. So we just kind of throw out our opinion about stuff. We're going to have more conversation and everything. This is the first one, but we'll have more. But until next time.